going into the small business space now and helping a leader who's like, wow, thank you so much for taking that off my plate. Like, that was just so helpful. Or the one I was mentioning, the gentleman that I worked with before, I came in and said, you need to offload, you need to outsource. Who's doing your social media? Who's doing your accounting? Who's doing that? And so his wife goes, thank you so much. I've been trying to get him to do this. He's working like 12, 15 hours a day.
Yeah.
So I said to him, if you take that time back personally, or you take that time and do sales and marketing, whatever you think your business needs, but let's outsource what we can, to make it.
Okay. Hey there, business enthusiasts. Welcome to the Chills Podcast, brought to you by All Weather Roof. Because just like a sturdy roof, our conversations are built to last. I'm your host, Brent Loberg, and we're about to dive into the world of business, family, and the moments that give us those exhilarating chills. Ever wonder what keeps successful people inspired? Well, get ready to find out as we chat with some fantastic all-weather customers, partners, vendors, and friends. We'll explore their triumphs, challenges, and maybe even some unexpected secrets. After all, business is not just about numbers. It's about the people behind them. So grab your metaphorical popcorn and join us on this journey. Get ready to be inspired, maybe even get a few chills of your own. This is the Chills Podcast. Let the goosebumps begin. Well, thanks for coming in.
Yeah, thank you.
Introduce yourself.
Oh, great. Nicki Leritz. I'm with People Solutions Hub.
Okay.
So I do small business human resources. So looking at businesses that are maybe too small for a full-time HR person.
Okay.
Maybe they have an office manager or someone who does more of the tactical stuff and they want to bring in a strategic thought leader. Maybe they're looking at growing their business, changing their business, buying other businesses, and they just need someone with a little bit more experience from a business perspective. And my goal really is to help them drive business results by leveraging their people, their culture, and ensuring that they're compliant and not putting their business at risk.
Okay, sure. So are you from Minnesota originally?
I am. Yeah, Stillwater.
You went to Stillwater.
Yeah.
Actually, I snooped your Facebook.
Oh.
How do you know Luke Watson?
Went to high school with him.
You did?
I graduated with him.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was a year behind him, and we used to compete against each other in track and cross country.
Oh. So you went to Stillwater too?
I grew up in Duluth.
Oh, okay.
So we were competitors.
Oh, yeah.
And then he went to Notre Dame and I ran at the U of M.
Oh,
and
okay.
he would stay in our track house in the summer. We would run together. But we used to compete against each other, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
So Minnesota girl.
Minnesota.
Stayed here?
Born and raised. I went to school. I went to UW Superior, UW Stout for undergrad, and then I got my MBA from St. Thomas.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did you like Superior?
Small. I mean, it was kind of the size of like Stillwater High School.
Yeah.
But I felt like I was unfortunately in the mindset of just getting my degree.
Sure.
I do have some friends that I took from, living up there.
Sure. Because I was like right across the bridge from where I grew up.
Oh, yeah. Yep. No, and I lived between Duluth and Superior. I worked at the Applebee's in Duluth for, while I was in college up there. So,
nice.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great area.
Yeah. And did you get your degree in HR?
My undergrad, I have a Bachelor in Science, like in business with a concentration in marketing.
Okay.
So I am a marketer. I do love marketing. It's really I like doing that part of my business. I've done direct sales. And then I got my MBA with the concentration in HR.
Okay.
So.
And how long have you been doing this for?
20 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Have you been running your own company for that long?
No, I'm corporate America.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where did you start?
Anderson Windows.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Bayport, Stillwater.
And you did HR with them?
Yep. So I was there for 14 years, so 2020. And then with COVID and everything, they made some changes. Did med device for a little while, and then my last company was Pentair.
Okay.
So manufacturing predominantly.
Sure.
Yeah.
So you started your company in 2020?
I started it this year, actually.
Oh, it's this year. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
Yep. Jumping in. I just see there's a huge need and a passion for helping small businesses with HR, the complexities of doing business in predominantly Minnesota. I mean, I do help companies outside of Minnesota.
Sure.
But the state of Minnesota just continues to make some changes that are making it harder for small businesses to, be compliant and make sure that they're meeting the needs between the sick and safe time, the paid medical leave that's coming up in January.
Yeah.
Those things can be complex, confusing, and a little overwhelming because they have different guidelines for each of those requirements. How many employees you have, things like that, and each are a little bit different.
Okay. So what made you make the jump to start your own thing?
Yeah, my position was eliminated
in
May, and I've had this on my heart for a while. My dad was an entrepreneur. He owned his own trucking business, and I like I've always done these direct sales businesses on the side, and I was burnt out
Sure.
Really. I mean, to be honest, it was just a little bit of the burn of the corporate world, and getting lost in working and building a career, being a mom. Our kids are super busy in activities. And I just felt like I wanted to do my thing, and I wanted to do it in a way that I wanted, to do it, which is seeing the need for small businesses.
Mm-hmm. Was it a hard decision for you once you kind of your position was eliminated? It was like, all right, this is the time I'm going to do it, or?
I think I was fortunate that the hard time of my role being eliminated was with Anderson. That was really hard, being with the company for so long.
Yeah.
So this time I think I was, in a different place. I had done some thought work around it, had done a lot of investment in myself the last few years. I think the hardest part was, just like how to bridge the gap financially.
Sure.
To support my family.
Yeah.
And I really liked the people I worked with. I mean, Pentair is, a company here in the Twin Cities. It's a great employer. And I think it was more just, missing the people that I was working with.
Okay.
So
how's it been going? So you've only been doing this for about a year.
Yeah, no, just a few months.
Few months now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just started in so in June, I would say, has made the decision and launched.
Okay.
It's been good, and it's been hard.
Yeah.
So good in the sense of, all the networking and meeting people and the confirmation I'm in the right space.
Sure.
But there is a need. They're saying the gig worker space is growing and will continue to grow. Human resources is a valued function and a contribution to the company. So people saying like, I need this. Hard in finding the clients, how you get to the people that have the need. Because most of the time the clients are overwhelmed. They are doing a lot of it themselves. And so, how do you pick your head up to say, I need help here? And so just finding those people. So I've been doing a lot of networking with people that maybe already work with the business owners.
Okay.
To say like, hey, if you hear of a business owner that's feeling overwhelmed, or you're seeing things like high turnover, or, I'm struggling to recruit people, I'm feeling overwhelmed, I'm burnt out, I don't know how to keep up on this stuff that support my business. And a lot of times the business owners didn't go into business for that. They went into business because they had a passion about something else.
Yeah.
And this is what came along when they got so big, they had to start hiring people.
Sure.
So.
Nice.
Yeah.
Have you worked with anybody in between Pentair and Anderson Windows that's transitioned over with you at all, or?
So it's so funny that you say that. My first client was a prior Anderson coworker.
Okay.
And he had reached out and said he and his wife started a business, medical device business, and their need was based off of, she works in the healthcare industry, and they saw a need, and she was a nurse and not seeing the products that existed. So they worked together to create it and started a business. But they've been a bit, around for a number of years, but I need some help.
Sure.
So it kind of got to that point where he's like, I'm having some pain points. I need your help. Do you know of anybody? That's how it started. He reached out this spring. And so then started talking, and then my timing happened. And
wow.
So yeah, it's fun because he trusted me. I was his HR business partner back in the day at Anderson. Mm-hmm. So he knew me, and he and then, was working with him and his wife on that. It's been a really fun journey. So
be a good Google review.
Yeah. Yeah. Good idea.
So you have your own website and everything?
I have my own website. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. It's www.peopleSolutionsHub.co.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how did you come up with the name?
Oh, lots of Googling, lots of ChatGPTing.
Yeah.
Kind of looking at ones that I liked of other people's and saying, gosh, what do I like about that? What do I not like about that? And so I would play with different naming conventions, and then I would do the search to say, does that already exist? Because I wanted to be mindful of even if they're in a different state or doing something different, I didn't want to copy someone.
Yeah.
And then I had a good friend who's a graphic artist. And so once I came up with the name, I said, can you help me, with the logo? And that's kind of a funny story.
I like the logo too, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It was, when I asked friends and family, the smiley face was a little mixed. Some people were like, I don't know, will people take you seriously? Or, I don't know, and so my girlfriend, when she told me the reason she picked the smiley face is if you picture two people sitting across from each other and partnering. And I thought, I love it, because that's exactly what I do. I want to come in and be a partner to a business owner and help them, grow their business.
Sure.
So when she said that, then it was like, well, either way, it's memorable if you like it or you don't. And it is. People will say, are you the one with the smiley face?
Okay.
And then I wanted the colors. When we were looking at colors, she did, not so bold colors. And then I really wanted, I liked the bold. I also felt like it speak to it. So yeah, it's really funny that you say that. I love my logo.
Yeah, it's really nice. So why HR? Why did you decide to get into this?
That's a great question. I worked at Applebee's in high school. So over 10 years, when I look at high school, and then college, I worked at Applebee's. And I had a great opportunity to be a trainer. I was training people older than me. And when I was in high school, I was a part-time manager. I worked in every position in the whole restaurant.
Okay.
And when I was, going through undergrad, I always knew that I wanted to get my MBA or get an advanced degree. So both of my parents only have high school degrees. And my mom, a lot of times, was held back from, getting a promotion because she didn't have further than a high school degree.
Okay.
So I always said, I don't want my education to hold me back. So I went and did it all at once, right back to back. And so when I was going to get my advanced degree, I had to pick what I was going to do. And I really liked working with people. I liked the training components when working at Applebee's. So I decided I was going to have, I was going to choose to have my concentration in HR. I had never actually worked in the profession before, but I really liked helping people. So I got really lucky that I like it and I'm good at it and I really understand the value of it.
Okay. So the name of the podcast is called The Chills.
Yeah.
So what in your line of work kind of gives you those feel-good moments, makes the hair stand up in your neck and your arms?
Yeah. One is when you help a business leader. So going into the small business space now and helping a leader who's wow, thank you so much for taking that off my plate. That was just so helpful. Or the one I was mentioning, the gentleman that I worked with before, I came in and said, you need to offload, you need to outsource. Who's doing your social media? Who's doing your accounting? Who's doing that? And so his wife goes, thank you so much. I've been trying to get him to do this. He's working 12, 15 hours a day.
Yeah.
So I said to him, if you take that time back personally, or you take that time and do sales and marketing, whatever you think your business needs, but let's outsource what we can, to make it.
Okay.
And so just, having those confirmation moments. I also just really love helping people. I've been networking. And so if someone reaches out and said, hey, would you talk to this person? I'm thinking of getting into the consulting fractional space. And so just being a resource to others to help them make the decision on the direction they want to go with their career, their life. Really developing others is a big passion of mine as well.
Okay. Very nice. Do you have any other examples from when you worked in corporate?
Yeah.
Favorite stories or?
Yeah. I think when you help hire the right hire, and so that the manager is super excited that the person is, wow, they are amazing. It could be the person saying I love it here. Thank you so much. I mean, I worked with people for years that always said thank you so much. When I think of you help me get this job, or I think of you help me get promoted, or I just was speaking with someone who I hired at Anderson. And she and I have now stayed in contact. And every time I talk to her, I'm like, I should talk to you daily because you're my pump of make me feel great. You want to just, make my head big.
Sure.
But she just was thanks for being such a great mentor and connector and helping me, figure out what I want to do, where I want my career to go. She's in HR as well. So I love those moments. I will also say the hard moments. I mean, unfortunately, I've done a lot of restructuring and helping the organization eliminate positions. And that's not fun work.
Yeah.
But when you work with someone and you have to be a part of that hard conversation, the manager notifies them, you're on the call or in the room, the manager steps off because they're done. And then you're just honestly there as a person and an empathetic, heart. And they just thank you for being there with them and giving them a moment or answering their questions or helping them through or telling them my own story that I have gone through this. And, things do work out. It might take time. It doesn't feel like it, but you are going to end up in a good place. And so how do you lean into the journey? And so to help be there for someone during a hard time too, even though it doesn't sound like it. I always would tell leaders, I don't love doing this work because it's hard and I wouldn't want to let people go and have them not have jobs.
Yeah.
But I feel like I do it well because I'm super thoughtful about the experience. The managers, are they prepared? Do we have all the resources ready? What are we going to say? What are we going to tell the employees that are still there? Because I think sometimes when you don't think through that, then you have the people that are staying also super scared for their jobs.
Yeah.
Are we rallying them around where we're going as a company? Do we clearly articulate why we had to make these hard decisions? So again, not something you want to brag about. I'm good at it, but I think because I feel like I do go into it with these things in mind and with I call them the survivors, the people that weren't impacted and then the people impacted and caring for everybody along the way. I got the name the Care Bear at one of my
Oh, really?
Yeah. We did this gift thing where like at Christmas, everybody had to give a game to somebody. And it had to be like, it would remind me of you. Let's say I was giving it to you. And so someone gave me a Care Bear because I said that when I pulled your name, the first thing I thought of was a Care Bear. Oh, that would be like a childhood like toy or a game.
Yeah.
So they gave me a Care Bear.
It was your personal brand.
Yeah. And it did become my personal brand.
Like it.
Yeah.
Very cool. So talk about the transition, very new, but from corporate world to now kind of being on your own. How was that transition?
Good and bad, good and hard is maybe what I would say. So good in the sense of like I've been able to be more present for my kids. I have two girls at home, a senior in high school and a freshman. And so to be able to make breakfast for them, in the morning when I want to or can. I'm taking my younger daughter to school right now because my older daughter isn't going to class till later. So it's been fun. We only live a few minutes from the high school. So it gives her a half an hour more in the morning. So I'm really liking that.
Oh, yeah.
I like being able to, like I'm out doing a couple things, meeting with you today, doing some things, and then I'll go home for the afternoon and finish the day working. Nice. I get to miss a little bit more traffic. So that's nice. Our family lives in Lindstrom or the Chisago Lakes area. So we're a little bit outside the city at times to get to stuff. I like spending more time with my animals because they are in the office when I'm working. And so I enjoy that.
What kind of animals do you have?
Oh, we have a Labrador, a Red Fox Lab, a little Shih Tzu, so 2 dogs, a cat. And then my daughter has a bunny, so I'm actually a grandma. So he's my grand bunny, I call it. So he's the sweetest little guy. So funny. I never thought a bunny would steal my heart, but here you go. And then the hard is, not working with peers as much. And so how do you find I joined a fractional group of other professionals in the HR space. And so we meet monthly. And it's to build a network and to just be there for each other through building a business, because I have heard that solopreneurship is lonely.
Mm-hmm.
And
is that what I saw that on your LinkedIn page, Fractional?
Yes. Yep. So my specialty is fractional. So coming into a business that has, I won't put a number, let's say 500 or less employees. And so could be no HR or they have HR, but it's more hourly and doing some of the technical work. But I'm part-time. So I can be your part-time HR person. You don't have to pay me a full salary for a certain number of hours a week. We agree upon what that looks like. You join maybe leadership meetings, you coach leaders, you might run payroll. There's a variety of different things that you do. I kind of come in and say, like, let's start from the top and just do an evaluation of where your HR practice is.
Sure.
I also do interim or consulting. Like if someone just says like, hey, can you just come in and make sure we're up to speed? Maybe we're too small, or we actually have someone who runs HR, but we want to make sure that they have everything they need. Maybe they don't have the background, or their just experience, isn't maybe as broad as mine in the time that I've been in HR. And so then I just make sure that they're up to speed, and then I can always be their first call.
Sure.
If they need advice, coaching, or they have another project or something that they need. So
actually, I was going to ask that question, like how or when does a company know who doesn't have HR, like they need it or they should seek help?
Yeah. I recommend, anybody who, has any employees to have someone come in and at least do, I call it an HR checkup. Let's just make sure your employee files look good, your I-9s, anything that could put your business at risk. That, you might want to just say, again, more of like, I call it a project, but I'm just going to make sure that your company's not putting themselves at risk by the things like that. So anyone with any employee. But then when you're, getting to that, 30, 40, 50, you're probably going to need somebody that's going to need to do something part-time. Again, people will look to an office manager or maybe hire an HR coordinator. But as your business continues to grow or you're having challenges, I'm struggling to hire people. We're seeing a lot of turnover. I'm getting, managers I'm getting people complaining about my managers. Maybe I grew quickly and I promoted people that weren't ready, so I need to help them develop.
Oh, sure.
Maybe I made a couple bad hires, like people that I thought were, kind of showed me a different person in the interview and they aren't working out. I'm struggling to hire people. We're seeing a lot of turnover, like my performance process. I don't really have goals for my team. I'm not doing regular reviews. We're onboarding a lot of people, but they don't seem to stay very long. So it's like, okay, I'm hiring them. I'm able to find them, hiring them, but then they don't stay long. So what's going on in regards to whether it's my onboarding process or maybe there's something culturally that we need to work on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you're working from home now.
Mm-hmm.
How's that transition from working in an office to home?
It was hard with the kids home for the summer
Okay.
because they kept like popping in and like they're respectful. They're old enough to know like, but they'll stand there and be like, I need you, right?
Sure.
And sometimes you're on a call that like I can't take a break or I will be like, hey, my daughter needs something, and they're very, and sometimes I make them come in and say hi to people.
Oh, sure.
Like, oh, this is my oldest. Come and say hi because we're on a video call. I like to introduce people. I'm fortunate that we have the space, so I do have an office at home. I needed a little cleaning up. Yeah, I think so far I really like it. But again, I think the loneliness potentially of like just not having the water cooler talk with someone. My parents do live next door, so I can always pop over and have coffee with my mom. So I'm fortunate to have that.
Yeah.
That like if I needed to check in, and that is really nice. My brother passed away in 2021, so I'm the only like one around now for them, and so it is really nice that they're next door. Just I do get those moments really shortly with them. It doesn't have to be super long, to spend with them. But so far I'm liking it. Yeah.
Okay. Share a tidbit of advice for the audience on like the entrepreneur side of switching from corporate to kind of being on your own.
Yeah, I would say time is a big thing.
Yeah.
So it's really easy to like work for sure when you're working from home, like work all the time, not have a break, not take care of yourself, not be present for your family. But I think you really need to learn how to switch it off. So I have a kind of a little bit of a schedule. I wake up every morning at 5. I go to a workout class. I get ready. I do a little journaling, a little Bible practice, and then I start my day. And nowadays, like I have to get to the cities for an appointment, or there are mornings where things don't look as good. And then my husband comes home at 3. I stop for lunch, so I always have a break. Schedule my half-hour break, eat my lunch, take a break.
Yep.
And then I unplug at 4. So that's unplug at 4. It doesn't mean I won't hop on later and maybe get a couple things done, but really trying to unplug, make dinner more consistently, but just not like continue to work the day away and not have time for me, because I think that's where you burn out.
Yeah.
And then you questioning, should I just go back to corporate? And there's gives and takes in either. So I think you really need to manage your time, and then still just how do you make yourself and your family or whatever your life outside of work look like a priority?
Sure. So explain what your perfect customer would be.
Oh. So I do have one. He is a smaller employer, so under 10 employees. So I would say a little bit bigger, maybe like 50 employees.
Okay.
But someone who, has seen the need, right? They're coming to and saying, I need your help. They, sit down, you go through the HR checkup, you make some recommendations, here's where I think we should prioritize and spend your time. Here are your greatest risks. So we go through and prioritize, where am I going to spend my time? Because if we're agreeing upon this fractional contract, which is permanent part-time, we're agreeing upon a certain number of hours a week. And so I kind of space the work out to say like, okay, if we're saying it's 5 hours a week, I could do all the work in 1 week, but then, like I don't have that ongoing. It costs them more too.
Yeah.
So we agree upon the work, and they are someone who values your input and values your opinion. They're the decision maker. They're the business owner.
Yep.
Right. So, but ultimately they're saying, I am paying you for your knowledge and experience. And of course, I'm either going to give you options. Like this gentleman that I'm working with, I went through and said, here are some of he just purchased the business 3 months ago. Here are some of the old benefit plans. So I did an evaluation, went through, and I said, I think we should keep these for now, maybe rebid them here in the fall during an open enrollment process. But I would get rid of this. It was like an employee savings account, but it wasn't an HSA. We would have to, manually contribute. It just wasn't, and it really wasn't making sense for the employees in the business. And he said, yep, I agree with you. Let's get rid of it. So we notified the vendor that we were going to no longer have it, notified the employees. So just someone who wants to partner, it seeks your advice and says, hey, can I run this by you? I'm thinking this, and this. I need help with this conversation. You're kind of running the background, taking on all of the people processes, coming to them with changes, updates, decisions that they need to make, and then you're running things forward. And someone that's open to new ideas, like here's how we've always done it, but we don't always have to do that. So how do we maybe reevaluate, what we're doing and make it better? It could be less costly. It could be a process improvement. It could be an employee experience piece where we're just going to make it better for the employees.
Okay.
And someone who rightly is passionate about their business and that's the space they want to be in is how do I grow, that part of the business, the reason I started or purchased the business.
Okay. Very nice. And how does that customer get in touch with you?
They can reach out. So through my website, Otherwise, my email is psolutionshub@gmail.com.
Okay.
Or my phone number, 651-775-7343.
All right.
Thank you. It was great. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And I got to reiterate my message a few times. So.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming in. And that's a wrap, folks. A huge thank you to our incredible guests and, of course, All Weather Roof for making this podcast possible. If you enjoyed these conversations as much as we did, don't forget to hit subscribe and share the chills with your fellow business aficionados. Remember, it's not just about business, it's personal, and it's all about the people. Stay inspired, chase those dreams, and let the chills guide you. Till next time, this is Brent, signing off from the Chills Podcast. Catch you on the flip side.